Alright, in this presentation, we'll be going over the glossary, types of layers, cotton kills, desirable materials, example layers, read the label, and places to get clothing.
There you go.
Sweat. There is more than one way to get wet and cold. You need to stay dry to stay warm. Number 2, shell layer. The outmost layer of clothing. This should be waterproof. Insulation. Any layer between the base and shell that keeps you warm. You want these layers breathable to allow moisture to escape. No cotton. Base layer. Typically, these are your non-cotton long johns. The purpose of these is to wick moisture away from the skin to help you keep warm. Cotton kills. Cotton wicks water away from any source. Water will climb up your pant legs or sleeves. Wet cotton has no insulation value. Wet cotton means you are cold. If you are cold, you will have a bad time. Make sure all of your clothes have zero cotton in them.
So go back. So when you're referring to cotton, you've probably been at school and you've seen your friends when it's wet outside that the back of their jeans, if it's dragging on the ground, the water almost seems to seep up the back of their legs. And that's because the cotton wants to absorb that water. So when you're in snow, that's why jeans are not a good type of fabric to be wearing, because if you get snow on them or there's rain on them, then they'll tend to wick up that water.
Desirable materials. Wool, nylon, polypropylene, spandex, any synthetic fabric. The materials are hollow and tend to repel water. The hollow spaces act as insulation. If they get wet, they won't be as effective compared to when they are dry, but they are much better than cotton. More to come on this. Shell layer. Top layer. Reasonable for repelling 90% or more water. Responsible for repelling 90% or more of water. Should be waterproof, not resistant. A garbage bag works well in a pinch. While digging a snow cave or moving ice blocks, you will be in constant contact with snow. Your body heat will melt the snow and will penetrate a non-waterproof layer. It is good to practice to use rubberized gloves and with a liner to keep your hands warm during building. Have a different pair of gloves for hanging around camping. Gloves. Here are some examples of good gloves. Mittens work better to keep your hands warm because there's less surface area to expose. Fingered gloves work best for... Is that supposed to be activities?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Activities like building, cooking, walking around. Pick what works best for the situation. Cotton kills. Read labels. Headgear. You will lose a lot of heat out of the top of your head. Ensure you have an insulated hat and ensure your ears get covered. Waterproof as well. Cotton kills. Read labels. Insulation layers. Insulation layers only purpose is to keep you warm. Snow pants work best as insulation layers, not a shell. Most cheap and easy to get snow pants are not waterproof but are water resistant. Pick your insulation layers carefully. Too many and you could get too hot and sweat. Too few and you get cold anyways. It's a balance that takes constant management. Make sure you read clothing labels. One of these tags contains cotton. Cotton kills. Pick clothes with cotton. That contains zero cotton. Did you guys see it?
Mm-hmm.
Long john.
You need to go back one and one more. What he was referring to in the back of this when he's talking about insulation layers, and you had a constant process, is that you probably noticed this: if you're wearing a lot of clothes and you're being really active, you start to sweat and get hot. If you leave those layers on while you're doing the activity, you will continue to sweat, and what happens is when you stop moving, you get cold. It starts to chill your body. So particularly in cold weather, if you feel yourself that you're starting to sweat, you need to be able to shed a layer. So you're able to take off a layer so that you can cool down and maintain your body temperature. And then as you start to cool down, you put that layer back on so it can reheat your body. It is an ongoing process that you have to manage throughout the day, because if you sweat in your clothes, as you slow down and discontinue your movement, or get involved, like you're cooking dinner or you're sitting around talking with someone, your body will start to chill, and you won't be able. And if your clothing is wet because of your sweat, it's very difficult to retain your body heat and get your body temperature back up where it needs to be. Go ahead.
Long johns. The purpose of the base layer is to wick moisture away from the skin. They should be non-cotton, the right size, feel comfortable when wearing them, and add to the insulation. If they are too constrictive, you can reduce or cut the. If they are too constrictive, it can reduce or cut off circulation. This will make it harder to stay warm. Although cotton long johns can be very warm, as soon as they are wet, they have no insulation value. Make sure you have a top and bottom. Boots. Pick boots that fit and have plenty of room in the boot for extra socks. If they are last year's boots, make sure they fit before a camp out weekend. They need to be waterproof, fit nicely, and have plenty of room for double socks, because double socks keeps your feet double warm. More boots. Some boots have liners. Some can be wiped out if they get wet. Some are insulated well. Some are for show and have cotton. Cotton kills. Socks. Just like the insulation layers, socks should not be cotton. For this type of campout, wool or a wool blend are easy to find and work well at properly protecting your feet. Socks should help with moisture control. They should fit well, not be too tight. With them on, you should be able to easily slip in and out of your boots. Tight socks lead to cold feet. If you want four sets for a 2-day campout. Read the label on the package to ensure it is not blended with cotton. Me personally, I bring more than 4 sets for a 2-day campout. For a 2-day campout, I bring like 6.
Gotta be prepared.
Or 6 to 8, because my grandma makes me bring a lot of socks. When shopping for your clothes. When shopping for clothes for the campout, here are some simple rules. It is not a fashion show. You don't need to break the bank to be warm. Thrift stores have a lot of small sizes. Online shopping can yield great bargains. Read the tag. Cotton kills. Try it on. If it's too small, it won't work. If it's too big, it can be hemmed to size. Army surplus stores are amazing, and some are online now. Review. Cotton kills. Try on your clothes before the campout. Have at least 2 sets of clothes for the campout. Store them in separate garbage bags. Thrift shopping is very useful for clothes, and that may be used once or twice. Online marketplaces are great for deals. Thank you, with a little snowman.